Do the Joe Rogan countdown. 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, and 0 again. We're live.
Yeah.
We are?
Oh, we're
Yes,
live?
we're live. We're live.
Oh, okay. Okay.
What's up?
What's up?
Yep.
Hey. This is a new addition. This is Jamie. Hello.
Hi.
Jamie and her boy toy.
Yep. Definitely. It's okay. We're not stirring mac and cheese on the fucking stream here.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe that's what you call it. I've never heard it called that in my life. Oh my god.
But now that you know,
It's a Wisconsin saying. Gonna get some za and go get some mac and
yeah,
cheese.
you guys are into cheese and stuff, right?
Grab some
we're
pop.
the best at cheese. We're the best at dairy in the country.
Don't
Vermont
get 'em started.
claims they are.
Don't get them started.
Vermont's a close second. Vermont's a close second. California also laughably claims they're good at dairy. Fuck them. Fuck California and their dairy, quote unquote. Wisconsin wins. Vermont's a close second.
Turn this down.
So,
yeah.
And it begins. It begins.
Wisconsin.
But
well, they're all about their ice cream and stuff. Ben and Jerry's.
Well, Ben and Jerry's is a fucking Vermont thing that like they don't believe in their product. They really don't.
Not anymore. I think Unilever owns it, and
They did sell out. Yeah. Haagen-Dazs is where it's at.
That's
fake
also
Danish
a fucking.
company.
No, it's not a Danish company. It was made by.
It's a fake Danish company. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made by two guys that realized that the umlauts on the fucking letters would sell because it sounds exotic.
It's European.
Retarded fucking middle class. It's not though. It's fucking U.S. ice cream, and it's
That's
not that great. It's just ice cream.
You ever see Whitest Kids You Know?
Made up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, the Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's European. Yes.
It's not
yes,
really European.
I get that, but like that's a very special issue with me though. Is anything dairy that people are fucking faking it to fucking sell a brand? It's like I don't care if you're from where the fucking Haagen-Dazs was from New York, right? Or somewhere around New England. Yeah. And so they were like, well, if we make this mediocre fucking ice cream, right? With mostly water and ice, not fucking cream like you're supposed to. And we change the name to something that sounds exotic and looks exotic. Well, we'll fucking win. And they did. And it's like, well, how fucking stupid does the American population have to be to go, oh, it's exotic, so it must be better. And they go, oh, it is better. It's like, no. In a blind taste test, if you taste Haagen-Dazs ice cream next to something from Wisconsin, which is also not actually ice cream from Wisconsin is not that great, but if you blind taste test it, you will not be able to tell the fucking difference because it doesn't fucking matter, except for the goddamn name that's on the fucking container. Which, okay, I'll give it. That's good marketing. I'll give you that. I didn't come up with it. Right, I didn't come up with that, and that's smart. They made billions, and then they fucking sold it to probably some fucking giant corporation, which is also a huge problem with the country. When you have a small business, fucking stay on with it. And if, don't sell it to a fucking giant corporation, a conglomerate, because you're like, whoa, I've made it. It's like, no, keep making it. Keep fucking getting better.
Yeah, everybody in Vermont that I met swore up and down that Ben and Jerry's didn't taste. It said that something's different after. I think it was Unilever that bought it. They're like,
they're cheap.
10 or 15 years ago they sold out. So definitely is a difference.
They probably don't use fucking eggs anymore. They probably don't use fucking real good quality cream. They probably get like the cheapest, shittiest cream you could possibly get. The cheapest beet sugar you can get from fucking Idaho and North Dakota.
Right next to that factory, man. And every
all
time
those potatoes out there.
Yeah, right here out where she lives, there. Yeah, the sugar beet factory, and it smells like fucking ass. It's terrible.
Right, because they fucking fertilize that with the cheapest, shitty corn-fed fucking manure possible.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they do. Like the American agricultural industry is fucked. The corporate farms,
Monsanto.
No. Monsanto provides chemicals for corporate farms. They're not corporate farms themselves. But no, they'll provide glyphosate, which is fine. But they're like, well, you have to buy our fucking plants that are impervious to glyphosate, which are also absorbed up into the plant and then people consume, which also causes fucking cancer unofficially. I guess I don't want to get sued by them. But they're also the same company that was like, oh, Agent Orange, fuck defoliant. Nah, you guys can walk through that shit. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Not a big problem.
Fucking cancer.
Shit.
Yeah.
And then, we'll make glyphosate, which is a watered down version, literally, of Agent Orange. And yeah, we'll use it on our fucking crops, and not a big deal. And then, we'll make our seeds because all the plants are dying. We'll genetically fucking modify our fucking corn and our soybeans, which are the most fucking subsidized crops by the American government, mind you, corn and soybeans. We'll modify these things to withstand this extreme chemical defoliant and be able to absorb it, right? They don't say that part though. And yeah, Roundup ready. It's good to go. Yeah, okay. So you're fucking putting glyphosate.
Jurassic World 3. This is Jurassic World 3. This is what just happened. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
Don't do it. This is it. That's the whole plot. Is what you're saying right now. That's it. I shit you not. It's not dinosaurs anymore.
It's fucked. It's like, it's and then what's really fucked up is, I mean, I won't get into like too much to do, but because I come from an agricultural state and I know family farmers, right? What Monsanto and friends would do back in the day, and they're still doing it, is they'll have this shit. They'll force farmers into planting this shit that, like, yeah, it's an herbicide. You'll have no fucking weeds, and you'll be able to harvest your crop or whatever, and you have big numbers and blah, 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 big yield. But you have to plant this exact seed with this exact herbicide, or your crop's going to fail. Okay, fine. Now, what that does is it cross-pollinates. So the corn in Farmer Joe's field, who's been growing the same kind of like heirloom corn for 100 fucking years his family has, it cross-pollinates with this genetically modified shit. So what they would do is they would go in and test these plants and be like, well, we've identified that you actually are planting a hybrid of our plant, and we don't allow you to save your seeds and whatever, so we're going to sue you as a local farmer. And they'd take them to court, and they'd sue them for these massive amounts of dollars, and they had good lawyers. The Farmer Joe is not going to be able to fucking counter that. And so they would go, okay, well, what do you want? They're like, we want your land. You stop farming, we want your land, or you're going to pay us what we want for these fucking seeds that, you know, you have to buy every year and whatever. And so that started to happen, and that's what's really fucked up. So if I were to plant corn, I don't actually know the local farmers practice. They spray shit on there, but I don't know if it's Roundup because they don't have the stakes with the signs out there. So I'm hoping they don't. But if I were to plant corn in my little garden down in my property, and it were to cross-pollinate with that shitty stuff, they could come in and be like, you're growing our corn and you didn't pay for it, so not good. Or it would just change the fucking corn to be something that's not supposed to be. And I have a fucking huge problem with that. It's like, no, agriculture, is bad for the earth. Like, people are like, global warming. I'm like, well, agriculture, monoculture agriculture is not good. And that's what we've been doing. Oh, we've got it figured out with chemicals. We've got it figured out with fertilizer and blah, 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 to not erode the topsoil and blah, blah, blah. Not true. Not true at all. But it's, I'm getting on a real rant here, but it's something I'm very passionate about. Like with farming, it's like, but no, here's the thing. Is,
if you really want to talk about monocultures and how bad they are, just look at bananas. The bananas our grandparents ate will never have because they're all gone.
Oh, Jesus, they've been gone forever. Yeah, like it's.
Yeah, so like we're eating the banana they had to find that's not that good. Like,
no, it's not, because
pretty
like
fascinating.
What's said with cucumbers, fucking watermelon, fucking anything you grow in your garden, really. But that's not genetically modified. That's crossbred over years, and that's I don't have a problem with that because that's an actual natural process. Genetically modifying a plant to withstand synthetic chemicals, that I have a problem with. Mm-hmm. It's like, we don't know the ramifications. There may be no repercussions. There may be none. But like, to do that and just be confident in that, I have a problem with that. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think we've fucked with food so much. Obviously, especially in the past 100 years, we've fucked with food so much. We're going to start seeing more problems than we have now, which is saying something with people's health, with, you know, whatever. It's like, don't fuck with food. Like, food is one of the things we need. We need food, sleep, and shelter. Yes, some nymphos like fucking would argue you need sex too. But you literally, to survive as a human, you need food, food/water, I should say, and shelter, right? Clothing is a very good thing to have. It protects you, but like, you need food and shelter. Well, food being one of the basic fucking needs of a human being, why would you fuck with that? Oh, for profits. That's why you would fuck with that. It's all about money.
Anything
and that sucks. It's not good. It's like, I get, people want to make profits, capitalism, blah, blah, blah. Capitalism's good. I love capitalism. That's another rant that I can get into. But there comes a point where it's like, why the fuck are we sacrificing the baseline needs of humans and animals, to be honest? Because animals eat these GMO fucking crops. Who knows what it's going to do to them? Okay? We need that. Why would you fuck with that just for profits? You know, like, oh, we get a bigger yield. Doesn't mean it's better. You know, it doesn't mean it's better, and, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'll get off that topic because we're talking about a fucking awesome podcast.
Yes. Yeah. But what a way to open it. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, once in a while, I have to go on a
take your red pill, and now we'll talk about the podcast.
Well, the red pill's gonna put me to sleep. So what do I do here?
Oh, you take the blue pill. Well, Mike takes the blue pill, but
well, the blue pill, I'll take 2 of them until my dick is super hard and my body's not functioning. But hey,
fucking diamond hard dick, yeah.
Yeah, just diamond cutter,
which happens to be the name of our podcast. No,
diamond cutter, yeah.
Diamond
Oh
cutter.
God,
fucking Christ. But yes, so we are on here. Welcome all 14 of you. It was 16. Everybody's fucking leaving because I was ranting about agriculture. Okay, but that is something I'm very serious about.
Monsanto
But, like,
has
anyway,
left the chat.
Yeah, Monsanto has left the chat. Consulting attorneys, consulting legal advice. So we actually, for those of you that don't know, we got 17 now. Wow, so I'm not ranting anymore. We've been doing a podcast for several months, and now it's been released. That's the big change. Me, Brian, Michael, and Nathan, who is not able to be here tonight, he's got family shit going on, which is totally fine. It's understandable. But we're all nerds. You guys have probably seen Brian before. If you haven't, this is Brian. We worked together on Revelay, which, if you don't know what that is, again, I made a bunch of videos about it. It was a film that Michael A. down there wrote and directed, and we actually made it happen in March. It was fucking awesome. Great experience, and it's going to be really great when it's out. You guys will like it.
Best 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit, yeah, dude. Oh my god.
That was fucking fun, man. Like, that was
hard
awesome.
to top.
Can't wait to do it again.
Top gear, top tip: make a movie with your best friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, we work together, so we've all met in person. Well, I haven't met Jamie in person, neither has Brian, but, like, that's in time. Yeah. I forgot what movie that's from. In Time. Like,
we can't do the I Am Spartacus thing, like I Am Jamie.
No, there's a fucking film I used to watch. There's some, like, weird old woman in a wheelchair, or guy, whatever. Anyway, but no. So this is Brian. This is Michael, and then Jamie is Michael's. I don't want to say better half yet, but probably better half.
Yeah, she's good for me. Yeah,
Michael's a fucking turd, and it is. We all accept it. It's fine. It's good, but yeah, Michael's a fucking turd, and so oh Jesus, are we really doing the makeout session?
Every time you insult him, I have to I have to fix it.
Oh, so that's a stipulation. That's a stipulation. Okay. All right. So it's like me punching a fucking hole in his head every time I insult him. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, right.
Understood.
Keep insulting me, Mike. Keep insulting me.
Every insult results in another hand job.
Wow.
Right, another one. Yeah.
You fucking goddamn piece of shit.
You got something. You got something on the lens right there. You better wipe it off. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Hasn't gotten that crazy yet.
Is that suntan lotion?
No, what are you doing? You have lotion? Is it sour cream? What are you doing?
Yeah. Old 80s white nose.
But yeah, so we're a bunch of friends that decided to do a podcast together about reviewing war films. And it doesn't matter what era it's from. It doesn't matter how much we know about the era, whatever. We'll also call people on that we all know to supplement that fact. Because recently we did one with Rome, ancient Rome, right? And it's like none of us are really savvy on that. So Brian had a friend and Nate had a friend who knows about that, and we did that podcast and we learned a shitload.
Yeah, that was way cooler having him on.
Oh yeah,
he had a great time. He'd love to be on again.
Yeah, we watched the film and then you get somebody on, and it's like the things that we have crossover on, and it's like we'll review that and we'll just shoot the shit amongst ourselves and review it honestly, like historically accurate, filmography, was it good or was it bad, blah blah blah, the acting. But like when we have an expert on, it's like we'll ask questions and that expert will answer those questions, and it's like, oh, we learned something, which is awesome. That's what history is about. Learning shit. It's learning things that you don't know, and you're okay to say, I don't know that, but then you learn, and it's so satisfying when you actually learn. So, Bri?
Yeah, it's called Scuttlebutt, and good old military term, and it's just trying to look at movies objectively. And we try to conceptualize some of them because it's hard to judge a movie from the 50s or the 20s or the teens even to today, due to technological advances and stuff and the times they were made. Movies are made for so many different reasons. So we just really try to look at, Hollywood's depiction of conflict from all different angles and just try to dissect it and see what works and what doesn't. And, every film has at least one good scene, so we at least try to look for those. And we always try to learn something from everything. So yeah, it's just a cool breakdown, and we all bring something else to the table too, because I've been in working museums for 15 years now, driving tanks and shit, and that's like how I got my start in military history. I was a reenactor. I used to run reenactments. Mike B, as everybody knows, he's a veteran. He has that special experience, that not all of us have. That especially for war movies and about conflict and stuff, really helps to have that viewpoint. Because I could read as many books and as much as I want and talk to people like him, but I will never get that last 1-2% of the experience. So having him on is great. Having Michael on is awesome because he's basically a Hollywood director, or up and coming. And he's got really cool viewpoints of things. And he's also a history nerd, even though he might doubt that. But, he's got a really cool eye for things. And that's what he brings to the table. And Nate's an editor. And
shit, Nate's on. Nate made it.
Oh, God.
What
is my internet's shitting out again?
No, you're here.
We can hear you. What's up?
Nate just came on, but his shit's white. Like his screen is white.
Oh, there's Nate.
Speaking of Nate, oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking about Nate.
I only have.
I just did a name drop.
How far back is YouTube?
So anyway, as I was saying, Nate's this piece of shit from Maryland. He's a horrible.
Oh yeah,
you fucking hear me?
He fucking lives on Old Bay and fucking potato chips.
He actually lives in the bay.
Yes,
he's a crab.
It's not great.
Okay.
Not great.
Well, I'm gonna keep it quick because my
Nate,
shit's all fucked
fix
up
your
right
shit,
now.
bud. What are you doing?
Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
But
from the stream until he gets his shit figured out.
Nate's an editor, and he's got a really cool viewpoint. He's also a reenactor, and he just he's able to look at things from an editor's eye and things that he points out to me like CGI and stuff that I wouldn't even know. So we all bring something to the table and we break it down. And as Mike was saying, we have guests on every now and then. We try to shoot for historians, military veterans, and also cinematographers and stuff. We want to get different viewpoints of just making war movies and war films themselves. One cool future episode we're going to have come up. We have an actual member of Red Platoon from Cop Keating, The Outpost, the movie The Outpost. And it's going to be pretty cool. He gives an amazing behind the scenes viewpoint of the battle and what actually happened. It's just really really insane. And there's not many instances where you can talk or listen to somebody that was in a situation like that. It's like, finding Guy from the main battle of SCUTTLEBUTT and Platoon. He's like, oh yeah, I was there, and tells you all the crazy shit that happened, and it was really cool. But we just try to give a cool spin on movies and just, try to make something that we want to watch. The whole reason that we really came up with the idea is because we were just bored with everything. We wanted to make content that we wanted to watch. I mean, that's really why we make movies too, because everything sucks, and just putting our 2 cents in stuff. Just we'll have you guys along for the ride. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, but we do everything from fucking Roman to now to we even get to arguments about what is a war movie.
Right. Well, that Roman one became way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, for sure. It's like can give some spoilers away, but in the film they all have war paint on and stuff. All the Celts, but they weren't called Celts; they were called Britons. And there's no historical evidence that they wore war paint or anything. That wasn't until much later, to William Wallace's time. As our expert said, 400 years. So it's funny to have this completely wrong thing. And, he just points it out and everything. And it's just, it really goes to show you how poorly planned a lot of movies are. We're talking about doing Pearl Harbor soon, and that's just a whole clusterfuck of a film all over the place. We did Midway, which was a very similar one, just all over the place and stuff. So I
had to recover from that one. Dude, Brian, I messaged you while I was watching it that night. I was like,
I don't remember.
I can't do it. This is terrible.
Remember when you said you wanted to do worst movies, and then you did worst movies?
That's true. I mean, I still do want to do them, but it does come at a price to pay. You get fucking worn out by them. But
that's why we're gonna do Wind Talkers and the really bad ones later on.
Right.
The Patriot's coming up at some point this month, but
that one's gonna be fun because Nate. I think I might kill Nate, or he might kill me. It's gonna.
Well, we'll have an expert there. That might be a median, but that's gonna be great. We'll see how many Mel Gibson screams.
Yeah. So all you guys that are watching this stream, how old are you, and how long have you been watching the stream to know who Fat Monk is? Because there might be one in the stream that's watching right now who's like, "Holy shit, yes." There might be one, but most of the people that are watching right now,
I know Fat Bishop, but I don't know Fat Monk.
They would know Fat Monk. It was fucking amazing. We had me, Fat Monk, and Dakota on a lot of live streams back in 2015 and 16. And it was fucking hilarious because Fat Monk gives. You think I don't give any fucks? Fat Monk gives 0 fucks about anything. He just says it how it is. It's amazing.
That'd be great to have him on.
Yeah, the only Revolutionary War aficionado I know is called Brandon F. And I've talked to him a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not really super connected with him.
Yeah, I know a bit about that stuff from just living in New England and all the local battles. The British burned down the town I was born in and shit like that.
That's fun shit. And he froze.
No, I didn't freeze. No, I'm.
No. Mike B's. Brian's the one who's froze.
Oh shit. Well, I have this really fucking good internet, man. I have this really good internet.
Yeah.
What happened to Nate? Did Nate just not be?
He was driving, and I'm like, you're gonna cut in and out constantly.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
But no, he's apparently there right now. But all right, we'll add him.
All right. Nate
Nate the Great. Yeah, you're driving and your quality is going to be shit.
I know. I just figured I'd jump in for 5 seconds because Brian's now gone. So here I am, second tier quality.
Yes.
How do you think? I hacked into the grid and took out his power network because Connecticut is shit. So it's fine.
You from Maryland are talking shit about another state.
Well, between the stabbings and the Old Bay and the crabs, it's
the Old Bay. Oh my God!
You live on Old Bay and potato chips. We've established this, and you're going to criticize Brian. You're going to criticize Brian in another similarly shitty. Although you're not in New England, a similarly shitty state.
Do you want to go down the road of how cheese curds suck ass?
You've never had them. You've never fucking had them. You have no basis in reality to judge fucking cheese curds.
Or do I now have to start the argument that the 98K is before 1935? Or do we have to go through this again?
Let's not go there and say we did. But let's.
I like. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this is great. I don't know what's happening, but
I already did that fucking rant, and I was correct. But
that hasn't come out yet. That's
No, we're talking about the podcast, kind of on this fucking stream. So, but you, penis,
are you
gonna never had.
Are you going to go on a rant about how agriculture causes cancer or some fucking bullshit that I
already did.
When the whole goddamn fucking podcast is about the goddamn fucking thing. You go up and talk about 20 goddamn minutes about how Vermont cheddar is sucking fucking something off somewhere and ranting and raving about that. And
never said that. Never said that, dicklock. But like,
I came in halfway and was like, I'm done. I don't even want to hear this.
Yeah, you would.
And then I came back and went.
We weeded out the fucking shitheads. Like we weeded out the shitheads by going on a rant about agriculture. And I said I didn't say anything about cheddar. Who the fuck talks about cheddar unless you know nothing about fucking cheese? There,
I'm from Maryland. I don't know anything about cheese. I just know stuff about crabs.
You're from North Carolina. Don't fucking mince words. You're not from Maryland.
I'm from Maryland. Grew up in North Carolina.
So even more so, you know jack shit about cheese. All you know is cheddar because that's what you see at Walmart when you fucking go into Walmart and they're, oh, there's cheddar cheese there. You know fuck all about fucking legitimate cheddar from Wisconsin versus Vermont.
Yes.
Okay.
You know jack shit, and you've never had cheese curds.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm gonna tie this in. If you want to hear more, tune in to Scuttlebutt next week on Monday, Tuesdays mainly.
She just
can hear more about this conversation.
I don't know if you heard me. Yeah, she just asked, "Is this what Scuttlebutt is?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah.
It's basically the cum town of war movie reviews.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like
which one was Old Bay screaming? Was that Centurion?
That was Centurion. Yeah, it was because it was
that comes out.
It wasn't even planned because I didn't record the last fucking half of it because my. By the way, Nate, that's figured out. We did a podcast on Wednesday and it was fine. It was the cord. It was me fucking. Blah, blah, blah. It's salt. But Centurion came out. But here's the thing: is that was not planned at all. That just came about because we were talking about Old Bay, which I fucking love, obviously. And then we were talking about what the fuck set me off of like. Whatever, but like
the fact that I had a container that I have to take the doors off my cabinet. But I just want to say to Spirit Moon, how about go down to the ocean, hon? There we go.
You're going out of the ocean? Oh yeah.
Someone said Ocean City, and then you have to say that the rule is you have to say ocean.
Ocean. Well, it's from Baltimore. Ocean. Like Maryland is Baltimore and then Maryland. I understand that. I get that. So not everybody talks like Asian,
town and then the rest of Maryland. So yeah.
Right, exactly. And you don't live in Baltimore, so like I don't expect you to talk like a fucking I almost dropped it to get the stream next. I almost dropped it, but I don't ask you or expect you to talk like a fucker from Baltimore.
Yeah, okay. A maggot, gotcha. Yeah.
A maggot. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
yes.
Maggot. Yeah. I know.
So exactly.
I know the words you dropped. Yeah, maggot. Yeah, got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You and me and Mike have talked so much like outside of the rules of YouTube that you know exactly what I was going to say, and I'm like trying very hard to be okay.
Yeah. So a fussy maggot. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yes, very fussy maggot. But anyway, I don't expect you to talk like that. I don't expect you that.
It's so good.
I also do expect you to make fun of shit that you know nothing about because you're from Maryland, i.e. cheese. You know nothing about it. You're willing to shit on it without knowing fuck all about it. And someday when you get fucked up with the truth and the the actual cheese itself, your viewpoint will change. So we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
We'll just leave it at that.
So to find out if I see the light, as Mike keeps telling me, tune the Scuttlebutt Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah. Watch it to get all the insight on cheese. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'll keep it quick because I gotta run. It looks like Brian's not even coming back.
He just especially his internet's down. It's not his fault. It's like the provider is down, and so who knows? Yeah. But I said it's okay. Nate's on. But like what I was really saying to him is like, but I was like, Nate's on, but like it'll do. But like, please hurry the fuck up because Nate's dog shit. Like, that's really what I was saying.
Yeah,
you got that?
Like, Pornhub straight up and down cell phone camera is not exactly very entertaining right now. With like this, awful 20-year-old light bulb shining in my face.
I know. I'm getting I'm getting serious head video like vibes from this right now. So.
Is that just the fucking? Is that just the insulation? There's no like fucking like fabric barrier. Is that just the insulation on your fucking roof?
No, it's like 2009 Toyota Camry cheapness kind of.
Well, don't rub it. The shit's gonna fall off. You breathe it in.
Look, there's no shotgun blood stains on the top this time, so I'm totally fine. That's a story for later. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's a story for Scuttlebutt. Tune in on Mondays and Tuesdays. There we go. That's the last plug.
Back to that.
That's the last plug. That's the last plug.
No, but in reality, Scuttlebutt is a lot like this. Like we do stay on topic most of the time. Like we talk about this shit, but like once in a while it does devolve. Like okay, on Wednesday, Brian and I had a very gentlemanly debate about Brian or Nate, shut up. Brian and I
just edited that one. It was gentlemanly as gentlemen can become in like a cockfight. But yeah, no, it's like
well, no, but he was not correct. He was like grasping for fucking straws. He was grasping for straws.
I wish he was here.
Okay. All right. Really quick, Michael.
Yes.
You might not know this. You might just, if you don't know, just say you don't know.
Okay.
When did the KAR 98K, the Carabiner Autonomous Kurz, come out?
Ooh.
If you don't know, just say you don't know.
Okay, well, no, because I think I've known before. 1935?
Yes! Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And when was it adopted? Do you know that? Do you know that one?
1938?
Six.
Okay, sorry.
Yep. Okay. So the argument we had was Brian was like, yeah, but it was influenced by a bunch of guns that came before that. And I was like, okay, influenced. Okay, maybe, sure. The actual KAR 98K came out in 1935, was there for testing. They tested it. They liked it. It was adopted officially by the Wehrmacht and the SS in 1936. He's like, no, there's a lot earlier models. I'm like, no, there's not. Well, the Mauser Banner model. I'm like, those were civilian firearms. He's like, bought for the Postal Service. And I'm like, it's not a fucking military weapon. It's bought by the government. And so anyway, because there's nobody watching this right now, so I'm just going to go off and spoil a little bit of it. So we got into a fucking argument, like for about, what was that, Nate? Like 20 or 30 minutes?
At least 20 minutes, yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, okay.
At the end of it, I didn't know. At the end of it, I didn't get anyone's point because everyone was you were just fighting back and forth, and then I lost it. And then I asked you, what do you mean? You went, I don't know. And I went, what the fuck, did you black out? And you're like, yes, I did black out.
Well, I got so fucking, I got worn down. Brian has more stamina than I do in a fucking argument like that, and that's the problem.
That is true.
I'm just like at one point, I'm like, fuck it, fine, whatever the fuck you want to think, that's fine.
I believe the quote is, hey, Brian, who gives a fuck?
That's it. Hey, Brian, who gives a fuck?
Gives a fuck. Yeah.
Well, that was a couple times, but like. No, it was like, but it's a valid fucking discussion because it was relevant to the film, and it was like, okay, well, this would have not been in the film at this point in time, blah blah blah. He's like, well, it could have been, and I'm like, oh boy, no, it couldn't have been.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And
it's interesting because I really wish he was in here because he would actually prove his point even more and probably with more gusto. Now he's not.
I don't want to have that fucking fight again. He fucking knows he was egging me on a bit, and like, let's be honest, he was egging me on a bit, but he knows that they fucking.
Yeah, but he knows you're wrong, so it's fine.
You're egging me on.
Yes, I am.
Yes, and it's not gonna fucking happen.
Yes. You thought about it. You thought about it for half a second.
I did. I had to think about it, but I'm like, yeah. But no, it was a very valid argument, and here's the thing: is Brian's still one of my best friends. Funny, right?
The thing is that Brian has an amazing ability to bring up like knowledge so quick and like so compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Me, if I start trying to recall knowledge, I just sound like a Westworld robot malfunctioning. I go and that's one thing I've noticed as I've been editing this whole entire fucking series. Has been in the moment when I'm talking, I'm like, oh man, I got it, and then I listen to myself. I'm just like, because I can't seem to like, because like the way my brain works is I talk and I have to hear what I'm gonna say in my head before I talk. So I'll go, and then I'll do that, and then I say like the same 4 words, and then I'll repeat it, and it literally sounds like I'm rewatching Westworld right now. It sounds like a robot like doubling up. I go, and then I'm like,
the fuck is Nate? Nate, are you like in a car?
Yeah, I'm in a car.
He is. No, so you just missed it.
Look at the beard.
We were discussing the very professional and non-heated conversation that we had on Wednesday about the K98.
Oh,
the last podcast I edited, I had the beard like down to here.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole recording.
It was terrible.
There's a whole recording of me like trying to eat a McFlurry with a beard down to here, and me complaining that I was missing corners in my mouth.
Forgot about that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
You came on.
It was true.
I made him shave his pandemic beard for my movie.
There was a while ago where he and I were, when we were first like really starting to get into the editing, like we were talking just through Discord, and then he's like, "Here, I'll share my screen," and all of a sudden he popped up. I'm like, who the fuck is that? It was like really weird for a second. I'd never seen him without the beard until that moment.
I met him in a parking lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You met Nate in the parking lot?
Yeah, I did.
Wait a second, Nate. Shut the fuck up. You met Nate in a parking lot?
You just walked up and were like, "Hey, you! I want to talk to you."
No, I met him on the internet and I sold him a bunch of cots, and then we met halfway.
That's less interesting. I don't care anymore. I don't.
Long
care
story.
Anymore.
Yeah, I found a hoard of 85 1945 dated cuts.
Oh.
Okay, well,
I made a killing on them.
Spoiler: the keyword, the hot word of the night was "cuts," which is a reference to my dick. But we'll go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is like it would have been more interesting to me, like if you'd have said, "Yeah, I pulled up in a fucking CVS or a Walmart, and his demeanor just demanded that I fucking go up and talk to this guy."
I saw this Viking who just reeked of OD wool, and then just we started talking.
And we started talking. We fucked a bit in the back of the car. Not a big deal. It was consensual. That would have been a lot more interesting than, I sold him some fucking cots. It's like,
well, there it goes.
Come on.
Business transactions.
Yeah, well, was there sex involved?
That's for me to know and you to find out there, bud. Seem a bit randy tonight.
Well, we just, again, before you got on here, I was just trying to justify my position on the fucking K98 thing.
I won't. I'm too tired to get
involved,
but
good.
People can watch the podcast and they can listen to how you're wrong.
Exactly.
So
and
okay.
But I didn't give away I gave away a bit, but not too much, and like it'll still be good because
we still found common ground, which is what nobody can do today. So yeah, it was fine. It was a great conversation.
Yeah, it was fun, and
it didn't end in blood. It ended in okay, I can agree with that, but you're still wrong on this part.
No, it ended with Brian beating me down.
Jesus, is this what the whole thing is about?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Turn the camera off. If you're gonna do handsies, keep it above, up.
So you want to see? Okay, stand up.
No. You can no. I'll fucking quit this thing immediately.
Don't get the stream cut.
Where's your
I've
wife?
already had enough streams cut. I've already had enough streams cut. I don't want to fucking have this one cut.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm
Jesus.
good. I'm good.
Sorry, were we doing something that bothered you?
Nate's gonna get the ruler out.
No.
You gotta leave room for the Holy Ghost
no.
between both of you at all times.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just trying to talk. I'm just trying to talk about fucking Militaria, and you guys are having a love fest. Okay, we gotta keep this shit separate. Okay.
This shit turns her on, so it's good.
It's a good argument.
Yeah.
I like the argument.
Nate. Nate's
Well,
just
I'm breaking. I'm breaking.
Super 6-1, do you respond? Over.
Oh shit! We love you, Nate.
Whatever you are.
Christ,
Yeah.
Nate. But yeah, he actually had to go like 15 minutes ago, and we just kept him going.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was our fourth member of the Scuttlebutt crew.
So that's what we're talking about. Is like that's Nate and
Crazy Nate.
also, Crazy Nate. But he's not crazy. It's just very fun because usually his involvement is literally like a lot of times he doesn't talk much. He's also the producer and editor of the podcast, and he usually just kind of sits back and until he talks. But he's usually quiet. But you hear like when one of us or two of us or three of us are going off at it, you just hear the
You'll hear him start that laugh.
the stupid giggle in the background. It's like, oh fuck you! This is escalating now because of you. Yep. Like we're going, and
that's where, when he starts to do that, I try to drag him into it. Like, oh yeah, okay, you have something to say. What is it? Yeah, what's so?
No.
I'm just gonna sit here and think about editing this later.
Just turn to the Joe Pesci. Funny how?
He just laughs like he just bites his fucking wrist and like laughs. Yeah. And we're sitting there tearing each other's fucking heads off.
Well, with the Mauser conversation, he was doing that. He was fucking just laughing so much.
Well, yeah, I called him out tonight. I was like, "You were egging me on." He goes, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Okay, at least you admit it. Like that's fine."
Yep.
But it's like, I mean, again, like we had the conversation. It was fun as shit. I got worn out because I'm like, well, I've already said what I need to say. You won with the stamina. I told him, I'm like, you have more stamina than I do in a fight like that. Well, it wasn't really a fight.
What's funny too is that was like the worst day I've had in a while for work. So I was like totally at wit's end.
Oh, you were on board. Yeah.
I didn't have any filter, so I was just like,
no, you were on board.
Mike, let's do it.
And it was like, it was fun because it was like what I think, like I was asking like Nate, it was like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. He's like at least 20. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Wow.
It was a while, dude. No, dude, it was a while. Like we were.
Oh my god.
And again, it was relevant to the film, so that's not a big deal. It wasn't like totally off, but it was like it was relevant to like establish, and nobody spoiled the year or anything like or even what film we were covering. So it doesn't matter. But like it's funny.
It's funny when you have good friends and you're both literate on subjects, how you can really argue and push people to a point where and you respect each other's opinion. I mean, it's it's just rare today.
Right before you joined again, I was like, yeah, we had this argument, this debate, but like we're still really good friends. Like it didn't hinder
cool.
anything.
It's neat to push people, and then at the end of the day, like, okay, dude, see you tomorrow. Just like have that respect.
Right, and I was telling Mike
something that's not around today at all.
Yeah. Exactly. I was telling Mike on set, like you and I disagree with a bunch of shit, like pedantic shit on set. Yeah. That was like really nerdy, so whatever. But like
incredible, Zelpon.
We disagreed on shit on set, like that were like, is this a big deal? Blah blah blah. But we got it resolved very quickly. Nobody yelled, nobody raised their voices, and it was like, okay, all right, we'll just do this. And the good thing is Michael didn't know about it. Nobody else knew about that except Sam because he was there. But like. Nobody else knew about it because
Sam was the negotiator.
Like, this isn't.
It was either you and me going at it or me and him going at it. It was funny.
Well, but with the Celt thing, like he was actually on my side, but he was also the negotiator because he was like, "But I have seen it." And I'm like, "No, dude, I've seen several fucking original, and I will give it to you when we have internet service because we were down in the pit. We were down with no service whatsoever." And
literally,
it was like, "Oh, you're like, I just don't think it's right." And I'm like, "Yep, exactly." And we were in a bowl, and so. But it was like fine, and then it got resolved. We did our work together. We worked well together. It was like there's no fucking animosity. It's like
Why?
Oh god damn! I just verped.
Oh. You verp?
Yep, sure did.
Verped a little?
It felt like it was going to be dry, but it was
too much Polish sausage. Oh,
no, it was. I haven't eaten lunch.
Yeah.
Just stomach acid and fucking bile.
What happened while I wasn't here between you and Mike?
Oh well, they were making out. They were almost going to bang, but then we got them talked out of it, and then we're good.
Well, I'm saying I didn't know Mike B was a swallower, so now I know.
Mike B was a swallower. You just said that.
Yes. Yep.
Is he frozen? No. Oh, okay. Oh, there he goes.
He's getting ready for cock punch too. So.
Yeah. Well.
He's good. He's good.
He's good. Yeah.
I'm not going to ingratiate you with a second cock punch just off of that because you tried for it. We'll wait until it's spontaneous and you're not trying for it.
Gotcha. So
I will not ingratiate you. So don't fucking we're done.
Good
Yeah.
Appreciate.
speaking of like things that come out of Mike B's body, he roundhouse farted someone on set. It was pretty amazing.
Well, roundhouse farted you and Sam in the room.
Yes, it was something I didn't think I'd ever see. But
It's like usually when somebody roundhouse farts, it's like a. Mine was complete throughout the entire.
He was like Jackie Chan, like spitting and farting.
But was it not complete throughout the entire circle?
He's been known.
No, it was 360 degrees of coverage.
Nonstop.
It was like in Vietnam we would have called that a daisy cutter.
Right, but usually people are like roundhouse fart and they go and it's done and then they do the motion. No, mine was valid and it fucking reeked.
And it was out of nowhere.
Awful.
It was like 7:32 on a Tuesday evening, and then Mike explodes his anus all over a fucking room.
Because I remember Sam was like legitimately like, oh god, what the fuck? Like he was like pissed.
I was so worn down by that point.
You were just like, oh Jesus Christ, and Sam was like
the Eastern Front machine gunner, just like smoking a cigarette, like
just like what the fuck? It can't get much worse than this.
Can't get worse.
But no, I did that, and it was like, A, I was mad about things that happened during the day. B, I had a lot of gas from whatever the fuck I ate. And C, it was like, well, guess what? Spirits are down right now. It's the first couple days. I'm going to make it better. And I made it worse. But I didn't intend.
You did.
I didn't intend to make it worse. It just fucking happened. And it was more impressive.
It was really impressive.
There were a number of times where I walked into your dungeon back there, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what the fuck happened back here?" Like,
a lot of things.
Yeah,
it was fun though. Like it was.
The gun room
there
was
a lot of
supposed to be.
Also, it wasn't just me because like Sam Bowen, the guy that we were with.
Mr. Bowen.
So Sam also was shitting his fucking pants at times.
Yeah.
So let's not forget.
Oh, we went to the Cafe B29 and then we bombed Tokyo.
No, because that was the one where I was like, hey, I just want to go in and take a shower because I'm fucking disgusting right now. And I like open up the door and he's on the shitter and I'm like, okay, I close the door. I'm like, all right, how much time do you need? He goes, don't fucking rush me. And I'm like, I'm not. I'm like, when is it going to be done? Like, when are you done shitting? And then all of a sudden the smell hit me as I was like, this interaction was having. And I'm like, oh, god damn. Like, what the fuck? Are you okay?
So we stayed in this fucking like McMansion. It was like 3 stories and
awesome.
It had a ton of room. It was crazy. It had a theater and stuff. Really cool.
But
nice. The problem was that our room was really cool and stuff, but it was on the other end of 2 shitters. So like to leave, you had to hope that one wasn't being used and that the other one wasn't stolen because we'd stolen one for ourselves as like a corridor, but it didn't stop a lot of people from shitting when they had to.
Well,
so like there were times where either you got stuck in the room or stuck out of the room, and it was just nature's call.
It worked the first couple of days, and then the second group of actors got there, and there were so many fucking people were like, we cannot close off this shitter.
Those bathrooms got so disgusting. Oh my god! By the end of this. Like
it was
20 people living out of 2 bathrooms. Oh my god!
But like it was the thing is like so there was 2 different kinds of experiences that I've heard about on set. Either one is I didn't shit for like 6 days, and then it was like a fucking anaconda, like a coiled snake in the toilet, or it was I got the massive shits from going out to eat, and it was like fucking Hiroshima, right?
Yeah.
It was just wall to wall, like bowl to bowl coverage. And
Oh God!
you could smell it.
Oh God!
You know?
Yes.
That was
yeah.
Grant.
That was the after that happened. The next couple days, like Yoni, because we were doing a lot of cave stuff by then, and Yoni came up to me so many times, was like, "Dude, do I have time to go to the bathroom?"
I didn't know Yoni got sick too. Oh, that's funny.
He didn't get sick, but it was just like the internal, the internals were disturbed.
Well, he's probably one of the guys that didn't shit for 6 days, and then all of a sudden had to. You know,
that bathroom at the site too was so disgusting. I had to break into it twice because people kept getting locked out of.
Well, honestly, I locked it the first time by accident, and I
know.
realized
You admitted you made me crawl through fucking rafters. You son of a.
I didn't make anybody crawl through anything. You volunteered. I told you after we were.
It was Operation Keep Myra working, and it worked for about 20 minutes. But
right, but it was like. But I also told you after the fact. I'm like, yeah, the first time was me. The second time, I actually don't know. Like, I don't know who did that. I remember the one time that I hadn't shit for a few days, right, because of whatever, and that was the first day that the American squad got there, the core American squad got there, and was like doing their thing, and they were just not prepared, and it was like, okay, fuck, we're working through things, and all of a sudden I looked at I don't remember if it was Brian or I think it might have been Devin. I was like, I'm gonna take a hike because I have to shit. And so I walked all the way down to the fucking shitter because I don't like pooping in the woods. It doesn't work. It's not good.
Yeah, no.
And
definitely.
so I walked all the way down
shovel
like
and TP. Oh, it's fine.
Over a quarter mile to that shitter. I sat down. Nobody was there. Thank Christ. And I just sat and I just relaxed. And all of a sudden it was done. And I'm like, okay, well, I hope there's no more. I look in the toilet and I'm like, there's a toilet snake in there. It was literally fucking coiled up. It was so, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that
Cobra
was
Commander.
And it was like, it felt like I saw this shit because my asshole was like gaping open, like really, it was like, it was just sitting there gaping, and I'm like, what the fuck am I done, or what's going on? And so I gave it about another 5 minutes of just sitting there, and then it got better, and I'm like, okay, so after a copious amount of paperwork. I did a courtesy flush, by the way. So I did a courtesy flush. It went down and actually flushed.
I just realized that Jamie's never heard any of your legendary shit stories. This is the first one.
Did you take a picture? She said.
Before it went away.
No, I didn't. I didn't think about it because my
Mentally.
asshole was like feeling so weird. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And so, yeah, no, I flushed it.
Right
it
after
went
you
down,
met Devin in the bathroom, wasn't it?
Literally went down. It sucked it down like a fucking. It uncoiled and sucked. It was fucked up. Anyway, and so then
did you have to use the 5-gallon bucket?
Oh, God,
No, there was a copious amount of paperwork involved, but I got it done, right? And then I was like, I stood up and I was like, oh my God, I feel like a different fucking person. Like I'm more optimistic.
Did he like jump right up?
Probably.
You probably felt lighter.
No, I literally felt so much better. And I'm like, I gotta get back onto the set. We can do this. Like it was just so optimistic. And so I kind of like jogged up to the set.
Yeah, he jogged up the
And
hill
I'm
like
like-
Popeye.
Yep. And I got there and like everything was going better. And I'm like, we fucking got this, guys. And it was like, because I took one of the most epic shits of my entire life. I'm not exaggerating either. I will never forget that. That was one of the most epic shits of my entire life, was on set when I thought everything was going to shit. I took a giant shit and then it was better. I felt like a new person. Everything was okay.
That's how you gave birth to Bono.
I was responsible for your giant
You
shit.
made that happen.
Yeah.
Well, that was before we had the idea with Joe and I to do the blanks, because I came back and then I was willing to like go out there and talk, and I was like, yeah,
that's right. You walked all the way down the hill, yeah.
Yo, I did,
That
and then
was Saturday.
so and then I was talking to Joe, and he's like, yeah, these guys aren't going to get their heads down at the same time, like, you know, because Joe would know of, you know, anybody, and I'm like, yeah, how the fuck do you think? He goes, I don't know. You said you have blanks, right? I'm like, yeah, I got blanks, but he goes, well, I get their fucking heads down, and I'm like, oh, you're right, it will.
And holy shit, did it? Yeah.
That's why I brought it up to you first. I'm like, hey, what do you think? You're like, go ask the fucking actors, and if they say it's okay, it's fine with me. And I'm like, fine, we'll do it. And so I asked all them. I'm like, blah blah blah, good. And then I ran over with you, and you're like, okay, I said, I'll be standing right there. You signal me when you want them to go off. We fucking did it. And my God, did those takes improve. Like, it was
They
like,
were great.
bam. But
Yeah.
I felt so much better after I took that giant shit. You know, I was like, all right, we're fucking back on track, motherfucker. We're going to get this done. And we did. And it was like, it was so fun. And, it was great. But anyway, like that's a good shit story. Like, I will never forget that. That was it's added to my captain's cabinet of my shit stories. You know, like, it was good.
Cabinet.
Yeah.
The captain's cabinet. Yeah, top shelf. Like your personal, like, oh, you call it a highlight reel too. I
It was like that trucker stop up outside of I-44 back in '92. You know.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one in Missouri.
That chili dog that I never.
No, shit stories. I think I've told most of those on streams at one point or the other. But like, yeah, yes, I got a lot of shit stories.
We should make Nathan make a collage of your shit stories. That'd be great.
Well, but I don't want to do that because it ruins the fun.
That's true. The spontaneity of it. Yeah.
You know, it ruins because like when we were on day 2, when we were sitting there and it was hot as balls, and after Michael got done bitching at me because I'm like, hey, let's get some sunscreen on you, buddy. You got to put sunscreen on. And he's like, I'm fucking fine. I'm like, put sunscreen on. And then after that, it was like, well, what are we doing? We didn't have anything to do for like a couple minutes. And so I started telling shit stories to people, and they were laughing. And Lane was there too. Lane worked his ass off through the whole set, but he was like there eating like a snack because it was fucking hot and he was working. And dude, the shit stories were fucking great. And I think, Brian, you were there. Yeah. You guys are sitting on the coolers, and I was standing up, and I'm just going on. But like, no, it's the shit stories are fun because like they never stop happening. And I had an epic one the very next day. I had an epic one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, shit stories are great. But
dude, like, yeah, there were some nights too where you kept the kids up with them, and we were just bawling. You know, we were. It was so funny.
Well, yeah, but it's funny, but like, yeah, it's. Well, and I had an epic shit story with Michael. Like, that's one of the shit stories that will never live down.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Fucking, but you didn't know what was going on until I told you, because you were like, why are you laughing like uncontrollably? And we got in the car, and after I could breathe, we were still driving down the freeway, to be honest, and I was like laughing, and I should have probably pulled off and like laughed it off, but I kept going. But and then when I told him, he was fucking laughing like, Jesus Christ. Beautiful. Fuck. But yeah, but no, shit stories just happen when you don't expect them, and that's the best shit stories.
Legit.
It's like, oh, I took a great dump at my grandpa's place one time. Well, who gives a fuck? Like, that's not interesting. But
Brian, you got to share some shit stories.
Oh God, the one time I shit my pants at the county fair. No.
What?
I don't know.
You've actually shit yourself?
Well,
oof. Is that a movie? Was that a movie quote?
It was a movie quote. Yes.
What movie is that from?
I honestly don't know. I think it's I want to say a Christmas Story. No. I think National Lampoon's Christmas Story.
Yeah, Jamie walked by. She's like, that's a movie quote.
Yeah. Yep. No.
No. But you did shit yourself at a county fair?
No, I didn't. That was a movie quote. I can't say I've ever shit myself. I did
shit myself.
I did projectile vomit in a car on the way to a reenactment once. That was fun. And I was in the interstate. I couldn't get off. So I was going like 70 miles an hour.
This is when sick or drunk?
I had my gluten intolerance. I didn't know it yet.
Oh, yeah.
And we stopped at a McDonald's on the way down, and it's like a 13-hour drive. We're coming from Connecticut to Virginia. And I don't know. I'm not controlling, but I always like to drive. Like, I'm just an A to B person. So like,
I'm terrible. I have to sit in the back seat with my head down, distracted if I'm going to be in a vehicle not driving.
Yeah.
So
I was always the person driving. So it's like, okay, I'll just bring my whatever. So I put 100,000 miles in my car in the last 6 years, and I've driven probably 98,500. Like, so anyway, we're going down. We're halfway down there, and I'm feeling bad, and I'm like, oh, this is strange, and whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, I have to throw up. And I can't get over it. I can't stop. And it's just like contents of my whole stomach onto my steering wheel, onto me, onto my seat. Like, and my buddy's sitting there next to me like,
what the fuck?
And I'm like, I'll pull over. And I'm just covered in vomit. And like,
we
get off of an exit. And I'm like, I'll be right back. And I go to the back of the car and puke my brains out continuously. And I'm like, I can't drive. I have a migraine and stuff because I'm now having like the gluten, effects and stuff. It takes a few hours to get through it. And I'm like, you're gonna have to drive. And he's like, everything's covered in vomit. And I'm like, So I'm going to reenactment, so I don't have like any towels or shit in my car. Or what the fuck? I was gonna get it like there. So I fucking used my bedding, like World War II blankets and stuff, and we cleaned it up. And it was nasty. It was fucking horrible.
It is nasty.
But, so that was like hour 8 of the 13 hours. So I had 5 more hours to go. And
oof.
Yeah, so that's my only worst story. I haven't shit myself, but I fucking projectile vomited all over myself.
So. I have told you, Brian, about the time I shit myself on set. Like, I didn't shit myself on set, but like when we were on set, I told you that story.
Yes, yeah.
I'm not proud of that, but like at least I admit it.
Yeah.
Because, shitty. Well, I mean, besides when you're like actually sick, you can't control it. That's one thing. But when it's because of your fucking derelict piece of shit decisions, it's fun.
Yeah, right.
It's like, God damn. But
well, like my buddy once, again, you do this when you're drunk. He got really fucked up, like a bottle of Jameson. He drank the whole thing himself. We were like 20 years old, and fucking we went to a convenience store all fucked up, and he was like, I'm hungry, and he got like a whole tube of pizza Pringles, ate the whole thing in like 2 seconds, right? And we get back to our apartment, and he was like, he opened the door, and it's just like Team America. And we were at my buddy's house, and his parents were away, and fucking he threw up on their rug. And my buddy's like, oh my God, we have to clean this up. They're coming back in the morning. So like they're trying to desperately get, orange stained fucking pizza Pringle vomit out of like a pearl white rug.
Oh, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, it didn't work. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Jesus Christ.
It was just too fucking funny. Opened the door and it was like.
Dude, I can't even remember the last time I threw up. Like, that's crazy,
Yeah.
I know a guy, he's really hardcore special forces, real legit special forces. I'll try to get him on the podcast one day. But the one thing he can't deal with is vomit. He's like, if I see vomit, I'm throwing up.
Really?
Like everything else he's like fine with, but it's hysterical.
I used to be like that. Even in the military, I was like that. And then, when we got back, I started doing like the hardcore fucking drinking, and I saw people throw up, and I threw up a lot. And I was like, I don't like it, but I can deal with it now. And it's like, it's one of those things like, it's weird. Like some people just cannot fucking see vomit or smell it or whatever. And I get that completely. Like it's disgusting. It's fucking gross.
I think the worst thing, because I've unfortunately had to do this a few times in my life, when I've been poisoned with gluten because I have some crazy allergies and I know it and I'm sick and I have to get it out of my system. And like you force yourself to throw up, that's the worst.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, here's the thing is I can literally without even putting my fingers on my throat, I can literally just go and then make myself puke.
Oh,
yeah,
that's painful.
It is. Well,
it is.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes
the bile burns. Yep. Especially afterwards.
Yeah. Sometimes it is. It depends on what you have in your stomach and like it's not good, but like it's not as bad as the pain that you feel if you just let that shit go.
Now, for people with allergies.
Yeah. Now, like I haven't like full blown like thrown up in a lung, but I have like before been like laying down while I sleep and I belch while I'm sleeping, and you can feel the like bile come up in your throat, and it's like it's
acid
like
reflux
burns. Yeah, it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
it's not good. But
you could have it after you have like a lot of fried foods and stuff, and as we get older, we're fucked. But it's
well, what's funny too is like back in the day, I didn't realize this, and like I told Mike and you, is like back in the day when I was drinking a lot and I was like out partying and like eating just garbage before I realized that I couldn't eat gluten either. I would, even if I wasn't like hammered, I would still throw up because I ate like bar food,
Oh,
yeah.
geez.
And it was funny because like usually when you throw up, it's very acidic, right? You get it in your nose and it burns and whatever. My puke was not acidic at all. It was like sweet. It was like whatever I ate and what mixed with the alcohol, the beer and whatever. It was sweet. And I didn't realize that eventually your liver and your pancreas, well, your liver makes your bile and stomach acid. And so eventually, if you continue to abuse it over and over again, your liver will make less stomach acid. because it can't keep up. And so I realized that when I had heartburn, or like I had like that grinding feeling in your stomach, but I had low stomach acid. It took me years to figure this out. And so that's why I have apple cider vinegar on me at all times. Like you saw me, Brian, on set a couple times. I had to do it. Michael, you've actually done it, and it helped you.
Yeah, you introduced me to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it helped you. You'd like, and so you're like, God, my stomach's kind of feeling weird, got heartburn, and then you just take it like a swig of it, like just fill your mouth and then swallow. If you can't do acidic shit, you just mix it with water and drink it down. And when you do that, like people think that heartburn is from too much acid, but it's 99% of the time the opposite. If you have low stomach acid and the walls of your stomach are like kind of saying, hey, there's something wrong here, like there's shit in here, but we can't digest it.
Right.
So if you take a little bit of apple cider vinegar, which is also very healthy for you generally, like it doesn't do any harm, it's also very cheap, and you drink that if you got an upset stomach or whatever, it usually goes away. And every friend that yeah, and so Michael, you experienced that, like
well, I drink it now, kind of on a not a regular basis, but when I just like every once in a while, it kills heartburn way better than like a fucking Tums would.
Right, and it seems counterproductive because like everybody's been led to believe that heartburn is from too much stomach acid.
Yeah,
but really it's like add acid to that, but it actually is the problem. And it's so funny that like you take a swig of it and then 5 minutes later it's better. It's insane. But like but it was funny because like I noticed that, and now if I throw up, which doesn't happen at all anymore, but if I do, it's very acidic. It's like very fucking it burns my nose and everything, like it should, because stomach acid is pretty strong. And it's like, okay, well, back in the day when it was like I was throwing up and it was like sweet and just nothing, well, there's a problem. So like it's funny things like that, like, and so they're peddling Tums and like all these antacids. It's like, well, that's counterproductive. Like that doesn't actually solve the fucking problem.
Right. Yeah. No. Eventually, like the more Tums you take, eventually you're just gonna have more heartburn.
Right. Exactly. And it settles it for like 5 minutes while your body's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, and then it just gets worse. And but yeah, like apple cider vinegar, super cheap, easy to fucking drink. I like sour stuff. Like your mileage may vary. Like a lot of people don't like the acidity. I just take a shot of it like it's a shot, and I love the acidity and the sourness, and then it just goes away. Like, yeah, it's fucking insane. But yeah, very nice. Shit. Little fun health fact for you guys.
Vomit. Yep.
Yes. But anyway.
Yeah. Holy fuck, dude! Don't do that.
I will continue to fucking do that.
I got the volume turned up loud in here. Oh
I know, God. But you've also heard it in person, and it's just as loud. It's not
just as loud, yeah. So
yeah, it's fucked up. But like, yeah. So if you're just tuning in now, which a lot of you are, we're on here to talk about our podcast that has been released now. The link is in the description to the RSS. Eventually, we'll get like Spotify and all other links.
Well, it's on Spotify now. Yeah, it's on everything.
But we just can get the link, and so
it's on everything except for Apple Podcast and Google Podcast right now. But it will be
which we're working
on the next few days.
So, and so yeah, it's called Scuttlebutt, and it's just me, Mike, or the core crew is like me, Mike, Michael Ackerman, and Brian, and then Nate, who you might not have seen earlier, but he's doing shit right now. We're all fucking military history nerds in our own respect. We all have different life experiences, like different specialties of things. And we just review war movies from all eras, foreign films, domestic films, from the fucking whatever. Doesn't matter what conflict it is. We just review them and give our little opinions on it. And we rate it based on several things, like not just like, oh, good war movie, bad war movie. Oh, it's just entertainment. We go, no, how was the cinematography? How was the acting? How was the historical accuracy is one aspect. Did it entertain you? Blah, blah, blah. And it's all our opinions. And then when we don't really have a leg to stand on as far as like historical accuracy or some shit, we pull in somebody that does. And it's fun to have guests on. And we've got some really cool guests already. I'm not going to spoil it, but Brian was talking about Chris Jones earlier, which, Chris, are you watching this? sound off in the comments if you are. But so people that appreciate war films and shit, but are also very much experts in their area and time period, have come on, and it's been really fucking fun. It's like we're just having a conversation like this, but we're reviewing a war movie and we're actually giving it credence. We'll give credit where credit's due. We also give criticism where criticism is due. It's not just we're going to shit on war movies. It's like, no, I like this about that, and blah, blah, blah. And everybody's got different opinions, but it's really fucking cool. So that's the elevator pitch, I guess, that lasted longer than an elevator pitch would. But
yeah, and we also try to conceptualize these films because it's hard to compare Fury, not Furry, to like it's hard to compare Fury to like Fury, goddamn it, to like a World War II propaganda film. You really have to look at it in its time and its place. You can still judge it in certain aspects, but we just really try to give everything its fair day in court.
That's the thing. Like, 50, 60 years from now, when people watch Fury, they'll have to say, the film aficionados and historians will have to preface it with, now you must understand, World of Tanks was very popular when this movie came out.
Yeah, legit.
Yes. I actually have the Fury tank.
Oh, in World of Tanks.
The M4 E8 E2.
M4 A3 EZ8. Yep.
Yeah, EZ8. Love those. We played around with the real one up at the museum in Massachusetts I'm with. It's called Alice, and they're great. Like, Shermans are funny. The early ones, you're like fucking inside your friend's asshole. Like, fucking, they're so tight. But the later ones, it's like, it's not as big as they are in Fury because it's like a fucking living room. You put a couch in the Sherman, that's wrong. But it's the most livable. Like, it's really easy to get around, which is nice. Yeah. I actually destroyed a Sherman tank. I've never told that story, but.
Yeah, you told me that story.
Yeah.
You told me the story where you almost got fucking blown up. That was.
Oh yeah, I almost got blown up in a tank too. That's a fun story. Now, first, I will say I never served. This was all like in reenactments and stuff and Shermans, and it was a Stewart I almost got blown up in actually. But yeah, I don't know if Mike Birch knows the story, but anyway, they're making an exhibit where it's like a factory World War II, and they're placing a turret on top of a Sherman, and it's a pretty cool exhibit. Well, to do that, they had to take a turret off of a Sherman, and they had all these restored Shermans. This is the museum is called the Collings Foundation or the American Heritage Museum now, and they got the whole collection of Jacques Littlefield's. If you don't know who Jacques Littlefield is, he was this huge collector out in California, and basically his family had rights to all the uranium mines in Canada. So he was the family has a stipend every year from all the money they make. So he put all of his money in the tanks. And anyway, they ended up with all these Shermans, and they wanted to put one in this display. So I was a volunteer up there and stuff, help out at everything. And they're like, okay, I want you to go inside this tank and take all the bolts out and cut the wiring harness out. I'm like, you're going to make me destroy a fully restored Sherman? Like, yeah. So I'm like, okay. Original wiring harness, everything. Fucking bolt cutters, fucking, oh my God. I tore the shit out of that tank. And they were able to pop the turret off like the next day, and we put it in the exhibit. But, not many people can say that they fucking removed a Sherman turret from it. It's,
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Well, it's a cool exhibit. I felt really bad because I'm cutting an original Sherman wiring harness. I'm like, it took a whole day. It's a lot of work, and but it's worth it for what they did.
You should tell the story when you almost got blown up.
Yeah. So, oh God. So basically, not all tanks that people use in reenactments fire live rounds of ammunition, or blank ammunition, I should say, is a better term. They're very cheap. Because DD, destructible devices, anything over 50 cal, it's hard to have license for and stuff. So a lot of people just have dummy guns, old guns that are cut up and they look the part. Or they'll have guns that look the part, but they shoot gasoline out of them. So they'll have like a propane, like a liquid gas, like a propane and an oxygen mix. And they'll use like a spark plug. So it'll make like a bang, whatever. So we were doing this public reenactment. And I was in a Stewart, I was in the bow gun position, 30 cal, and we were supposed to come over this hill and like get shot. So we're going to come over the hill, and right before the battle happened, the spark plug broke for the gun, and the people that were on the tank, they wanted to use their tank in the battle. So what do you do when the spark plug doesn't work for your fake stupid gas gun? Well, obviously you get a grill lighter. That's what works. So you unscrew the 3/4 inch hole for the fucking thing, and you take the little 1/4 inch big.
No, the gas isn't leaking out inside the fucking compartment. Yeah.
So we go to do the battle, right? And we're We go up over the hill, and we're fucking doing it. And
hey, Brian, real quick, while you were did you know this was happening, or was this like something you found out after the?
I found it afterwards.
Okay,
so,
all right.
Well, actually, I'll tell you when I found out. So we go over the hill, and the guy turns on the oxygen, and he turns on the propane, and because it's going in at a very fast rate into a chamber, it's filling up this chamber pretty quick, and it's starting to come out the hole. So he's sitting there, the tank's moving around, trying to stick a grill lighter in this hole, and it's making but because of the jet of oxygen and propane, it wasn't able to ignite. So over the roar of the tank, I look back and I see him like angling with a grill lighter. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then he pulls it out a little bit. And by this point, I smell propane. And I'm like, oh fuck. And he lights it. And I was looking at him when he did it. It was a flash fire. It was like and I got hit by the shockwave. And I was like, what the fuck? And I kept blinking my eyes, and the driver like shook me and was like, get out of the tank. And I'm like, what? It's like, get out of the tank. And I really can't hear. The engine's still running. I'm really confused. So I go to lift myself out of the tank, and it's the middle of a public battle. A public battle that's, by the way, they give free ammunition to all the reenactors, like 600 rounds per battle. So it sounds insane. So I'm getting out of a tank all fucked up, confused, like what the fuck just happened? And there's like, fucking Saving Private Ryan is happening around me. It's like that loud. And I'm all fucked up. So I like barely lift myself out of the tank, and it's kind of hard to do in the bow position. And my arms go limp, and I literally slide down the front of the armor. And I'm like, wow, this is fucking strange. And I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. And as I look up, there's all this gear that's on the outside of the tank. And there's a canteen cover, a U.S. canteen cover that's smoldering. And I'm slowly watching the U.S. turn black. And I'm like, what the? Huh. And I crawl back to the back of the tank, and the other guys were there. And they were like, oh, we had a fire. We had a situation. And then at the back of a Stuart, there's these two hatches to maintenance the engine, get to the radio. And they're always latched shut. Well, fucking they'd blown open like about 6 inches. And these are good 400 pounds of forged steel. It's very hard to do that. So, yeah, we had a fucking like flash fire inside the tank because these guys were retarded. And
no one got seriously hurt, though, right?
No, I got a serious concussion, though, and I didn't know it at the time. But for a good 2 weeks, I was very foggy, just very distant. I actually ended up breaking up with my girlfriend at that time, too. I don't know if that was a direct cause, but it was just very strange. And the same event, a year later, one of our guests, the Roman expert, Sean, almost got killed in a Sherman in a very similar circumstances. Yeah, which is they had a similar thing happen, but the explosion from the gas line, the explosion from the tank actually ruptured the gas line. And so he's like in the bow position again of a Sherman shooting. And they're all from Massachusetts, these guys, right? So they're like, fire the gun, and so they shoot the gun, and all of a sudden they have a blowback, and it blows up the propane line. So the propane line is like a fucking oxyacetylene torch. It's going like this inside the fucking turret. Like, so my buddy is like shooting, and he hears like the noise, and he looks behind him, and it's like this hose, like probably about 2 feet from his head, flying around with fire. And he was like, I'm going to die. So fucking one of the guys in the tank, the loader, goes, fire. So the commander of the tank goes, fire the gun. And he goes, no, you fucking idiot, we're on fire. So fucking they look at the turret, and it's this thing's going like this, and they were able to turn off the fucking propane in time, and it stopped. But like, just imagine that. It's a torch flying around and inside of a Sherman. And
it's scary.
It was an M4A1 too, so it's like the tightest one. Like I was saying, you're in your friend's asshole. So like, thank God nobody got hurt or nothing got torched. But like, fucking A. The more you're around tanks and heavy equipment, the quicker you learn that it takes a second to die. And I know that might sound naive and stuff, but like, it's so unforgiving. I've known people that have been crushed by their own tanks because they're teaching people how to drive. Like, it doesn't take much to die, and you just have to be very careful and have that in the back of your head at all times, because it's fun to play with, but it's fucking deadly. It doesn't take much.
Arnold Schwarzenegger has this great story. Before he was a bodybuilder and in movies and stuff like that, he was in the army and in Austria, and he has this story about he was a tank driver. That was his whole thing, and he drove actually when he got up one morning and was like checking on it, he drove the tank, not even knowing that it was moving. He drove it through the garage that it was in. Like, it was an
M47 U.S. tank, and that's like the tank you mostly see in World War II movies from the 60s. It's painted gray as a German tank. It's like all the tanks you see in Battle of the Bulge. And so what he did was he kept it in reverse, and he started the engine with the starter. and the starter motor on these tanks is very powerful. So it was able to turn the flywheel, because I've heard that story too. And he said the tank was bucking, and he was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. And it was the starter had engaged, and he took his foot off the clutch, so it fucking went through the building, because the torque on these things is incredible. You know? He also flipped the tank and killed, I think, an M103 actually, and killed somebody.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Remember correctly. Yeah, no, that was another thing.
There was another one I knew where he raced one of his other tank drivers in his unit. He raced them down a hill in their two tanks, and like the infantry were on them, and they like flew off and everything.
Oh, that's funny. Fucking dude, I've driven a Hellcat at like 45 miles an hour, and they can go up to 60. We had an airfield we could play with, and it was rubber tracks and fucking like, oh my god, dude, fucking tank destroyers are awesome. Like, you have no armor at all. You got a 50 cal and a 76 millimeter, but fucking you can haul ass. Like, fucking, you need to get somewhere quick, you can get there, and it's just, they're fascinating.
Dude,
you can go 80 in a Stuart. Some of the later ones, they had twin V8s. Fucking,
really?
So you could. There were guys that would race Hellcats and Stuarts at the end of the war because they had so much time on their hands.
I sent you some aerial photos of Omaha earlier.
Dude, that was awesome. The half tracks and the Shermans and stuff, and that was really
like
cool.
It's those ones I got. Like you can zoom in, you can tell which one's a DD and like which one is a dozer tank, which one is a tank. Yeah.
Well, what was cool is that I saw your post and I was like, half tracks, like I know that they were there and stuff, but I was like a little skeptical just because my own stuff, and I saw that where the stars were, and I'm like, that's how you could tell. It's
that's how you can tell.
Very very cool. Yeah.
Wasn't
there like an anti-aircraft unit that landed like in one of the early waves or something?
Easy. A little later, actually, Easy Red Sector. Yeah, I think it was 147th. I think.
They had like M16s or some anti-aircraft half tracks or something.
They did, but the quad 50, on it.
And,
The German R66, the German R667 casemate at WN65 Le Rouquet that was covering that was taken out by that. By one of those half tracks was they were approaching, and they turned that quad 50 on it, and just if you ever look at photographs of the R667 after D-Day, camouflage paint on it, it's just like scabbed like crazy because the 50 cal rounds were just bouncing off the whole thing, and like on the inside too. If you ever see like photos of the inside of it, the KWK 38 on the inside, the blast shield is just like dinged up like crazy.
That's insane. I would have, unless it came from you, I would never believe that there was a fucking 50 cal half track that took out a fucking machine gun or a German resistance position on Omaha. That's insane.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't all 29ers running into machine gun bullets and then saving the day.
This was in the first infantry sector. This wasn't in 29th infantry, but the 100. I believe it was 147.
Lee Marvin's Bangalore torpedo team was putting it under the wire.
That's another scuttlebutt, but that one will be a scuttlebutt Sunday. But if you actually see that bunker today, because it's there today, it has a plaque on it that's a memorial to that unit, the 147th Anti-Aircraft. Whatever it was called, those half tracks. It was two half tracks that took out. One of them had a 37 millimeter gun on it. The other one had the quad 50 on it.
There was a name for it. Like the M16 was the quad, and the M15 was another one. But yeah, I know it was 250 cal. And it has a really big gun platform. It like goes over the sides of the.
But they also like the 37. You have to like.
And the gun points to the back too. Yeah,
you have to like face it to the back.
It was
to, like,
they're very hard to use, but that's really cool. Yeah, and you know how cool that would be to put in the Omaha movie.
Oh, that we're going to eventually. Yeah, I mean, it has to. It's part of the history. That's what took out that bunker, and that bunker killed a lot of people. That was like the major in terms of that in Le Rouquet, part of Omaha. That was like the main fortification there. And
what's cool, I played with M16 half tracks a little bit, and like one of those working turrets, dude. Like, you will not have a stronger boner anywhere else. Like, no shit. Like, when you're in a fucking quad 50 caliber turret, because you sit really low, and the gun sight's like right here, and like the motor makes this really cool whirling noise, and like you can do a 360 in probably like 5 seconds. So it's just like so much fun to like, fucking. It's like you're in a B-17 tailgun turret or something,
Oh my god! Were you able to fire the 50s?
They had propane 50s, unfortunately. It didn't say the real thing, but
so when you said
I know enough people where we can get them together.
Fucking 50. You love a bigger boner.
Yeah, in the turret for sure, but fucking Hopefully, you guys get the chance to do it. It's just awesome, and it's
I've
funny
been,
to see a lot of
I've been
photos.
on an M16. Like I just never
you have?
got to the turret. Yeah, I have. Yep.
Yeah,
And
cool. And they have the armor that folds down on the top.
That folds down, and then because I've driven or I've ridden on one of them when they were driving when I was a kid.
Half tracks are a bitch to drive. Oh, the steering sucks. Holy shit! Unless you're driving at any speed, it's a bitch.
Fun concept.
They look cool as hell.
French concept. I have a buddy that has one like 5 minutes away from me. We used to play with we went to 48 Town Gap in Pennsylvania. They have this big battle. We used to have this big battle of the Bulge reenactment. And we were playing on this old artillery range. And in the middle of this fucking road, there was a shell hole from a 155. We drove this half track right through it. And we were like, we had the roller on the front of it. We had to use it. It was fucking so cool. Like fucking crawling up one of those big things. And so much fun. It's cool to use the stuff as it was designed for, you know?
Of course. I guess I could bring this up right now. This jacket I'm wearing, as you all will see, it is a M43 from World War II. This is actually Jamie, who was in here a little bit ago. This is her grandfather's jacket that he wore in World War II. He has two of them. So it's not just like it's not a repro or anything. That this is an original, and it still feels like it's tough as nails. Like it doesn't feel like it's brittle at
the
all.
duck cotton canvas was it's a tough material.
What color is the liner? Khaki or green?
It's green.
Yep. Okay, that's the D style. It's later war. They're bigger. They were made to accommodate the liners and so that you can put more shit into them. The really early ones are like very close cut. The B model that they used in 43, 44 and Trials and Anzio.
Yeah, I think she said that he entered the war in like late 44 or something. He
was what, 10th Armored or 14th?
I don't know. Let me just go get her. I'll bring her in here.
Yeah. One of those late war divisions. Get some cool impressions. You get like M44 packs and M45 packs with some of those later units. Yeah. Cool stuff. Yeah, we cool episode actually planned out for Fury. I think that's the only relevant late war film to this.
Yeah, that's the unit.
13th. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, one of the later war armor divisions.
Yep.
Do you know what the armor division patch means?
No.
So it's 3 different colors for when they formed the divisions. Yellow is for signal corps, red is for artillery, and blue is for infantry. And the triangle means that they're in one division together. Because before that, you'd have separate elements. So
yeah, because I see that patch for multiple armored units.
Okay, was yellow not cavalry though?
Here it is. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it was for signals.
I'm almost very sure that yellow is cavalry.
Yeah, could be, but yep. This is my second armor. This is a wool patch. This is made in England, but
infantry, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, it just means that they were together. And sometimes you have the track, but sometimes you don't. But,
yeah, she's got a ton of her grandfather's shit. So yeah, it's
I want to see those photos. God damn it!
I can bring in just like show you like the volume. What's that?
If you want, that'd be cool.
Yeah, go for it, babe.
We were talking about this earlier. Everybody brought a camera to war, but in the 40s, but nobody knew how to use them. So
that's the thing.
A bunch of incredible photos, but they're blurry as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, like I've studied so many photos taken on Omaha and all that stuff because that's like my forte, and like it's so hard to see some shit sometimes. It's terrible,
I have some incredible photos from like the units I researched, like the 2nd Armored Division and stuff, that are so blurry, and you just have to guesstimate some things.
Right.
And it's like you wish the guy just turned the f-stop a little more.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's just like, why, dude?
Yep.
I know. I'm gonna scan all these and like make them bigger, but so he started documenting his thing from basic all the way to.
Wow, cheap photos.
I don't know if you can like
see any of them,
but just showing you like how many pictures he took.
Tons of it. There it is with his captured Luger.
Oh yeah, here.
Oh, cool.
Here, let's go back a little. That one right there. Yeah, that's him with holding his Luger.
That's cool.
Yeah,
got a mustache and everything.
Yep.
It's crazy. My brother looks exactly to the T like him.
Funny.
But he was first generation American, and he got sent back to Greece. He and his brother to get their educations, and he had smuggled out of Greece to because Hitler was invading, and he and his brother were be conscripted, and so he had to get smuggled out through Portugal, and then right when he gets back home. So his dad's business was Marathon Linen, which was right next to the Ford Motor Company, the factory in Detroit. And so every time they would wash off their hands of oil and linen, my grandfather's company or his dad's company would, go pick it up, wash it, blah, blah, blah. And so he gets back all the way in time, right when he got back, then he got drafted. I had enough time to, help shore up the business, and help his dad do that, and then got drafted right away. So
funny.
Yeah. So anyway, these pictures are going to be really good once you guys can see them and once I get them scanned.
Oh, they're great. Yep. And I've seen some of the ones that Michael sent me, but they're just fantastic.
That was a good group shot, right?
Inside half. Yeah. I love the one that are inside the half track and they're all hanging out and stuff. And this is very cool. You very rarely get photos like that. You very rarely.
I'm really lucky I have these. So I wish I had more stuff.
No, you have way more than most people. I mean, the fact that
you care about it, that's what matters the most.
And all that, we went through those duffel bags, all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's fucking crazy. I mean, that sat there for 70 some years.
Yeah, in a barn, and I finally was able to bring it back. And you should have seen me bringing it back from Arizona a couple weeks ago, trying to stuff it all in my suitcase. And I'm and then after the fact, after I checked my luggage, I was like, I hope that there was nothing.
There's no ordinance in here or something.
Nothing crazy.
Well, the thing I showed you before the chat, I can't show because we're live YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
But that sat in a duffel bag for 60 years. World War II MP40. So
that's what this jacket is. We opened it together and looked at it, and I was like, God damn, it feels like it hasn't aged a day.
It's a great jacket. I love the 43.
Yeah, 43 is awesome.
You told me you have two?
Yeah, there's two of them. Yeah, and one of them's a bit more dinged up than the other. It has some parts of it where it ripped and it's been sewed up. And
that was probably the combat used one.
Right. So then this one right here, I think is this is probably the one he was issued after that one had been dinged up a bit or something. That's what I'm guessing.
I have a question about the jackets. Both of them have the tags taken out of the back, and I wanted to know why that happened.
They fall out.
They just probably fell out.
That was just from wearing out. Yeah.
Yeah, they fall out pretty easily.
Yeah, buttons and tags. So just from use.
Yeah. See the buttons there that off there.
That's very common. Yep. A lot of times when that would happen during the war, they would use safety pins to fix it. You see that a lot later in the war, safety pins for collars.
Yep.
I asked my brother if he would let me take his actual uniform, but that'll be another trip. I couldn't fit
his Class A's or his.
I guess that would be
his dress uniform.
Yeah.
With medals and everything and.
Cool. Yeah, I used to have it forever and ever, and then I'm like, okay, brother, it's kind of but I'm sure he wouldn't mind. And that way I can show that off and make Mike wear it.
Yes. She likes
that jacket.
Actually,
I could tell. That M43 jacket actually has a kind of a cool story. It came out of the North Africa campaign where guys are using this jacket called the M41 that has really, really small pockets, and it's tan, really bright tan. And it wouldn't match in with anything. So the guys were like, give us uniforms we could fight out of. We want pockets we can fight out of. So the State Department's like, you want fucking pockets? I'll give you fucking pockets. So they had that jacket that has a ton of pockets that you can basically live out of. And that was what guys wanted. And literally guys did live out of that jacket, in the end of the war.
You see so many photos of these things are packed full of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you do with the 41 is that you would cinch up your cartridge belt and put your shit between the belt or the the outside of the jacket and your chest. And that's what Sergeant Sanders did in combat. We're totally 100% correct. Very, very legit for a combat guy with a 41. But when you started to get 43 jackets, that's what happened. And actually, to get into it, I have a hypothesis that the 43 jacket was the reason that guys were getting shot in Normandy and not the camouflage that was issued.
Yeah,
if you look at a 43 jacket in a German tunic, and mostly in Normandy they had German HPT tunics for the 916th and the units that we fought against. It looks literally just like a fucking M43 jacket. Same color, same cut, same everything. And for veterans that had fought in North Africa and everything, who
they would expect
you quickly, you base your reaction off of quick guesses at your enemy. So a lot of times guys will look for tunics. 4 pockets on a tunic, that's not a GI. Fucking shoot him. And, and Go ahead. The fact that the new uniform was killing people, and that they had 2 new uniforms at the same time. One that would be there for 2 weeks. The other one which would be there for fucking 7 years. So they used into the Korean War. So it's just because of use that went away. But I'm 90% sure that happened. There's even reports of the 29th Division shooting the shit out of the 2nd Infantry Division when they came ashore at Omaha because they had dark colored HBTs, and a lot of those guys had M42 jackets. So it's very interesting how these rumors start and how they get convoluted.
Well, and that's like because you are not one who subscribes to the myth about the frog skin being confused for SS camo, right?
No, that's totally bullshit as far as we could tell. The only 2 accounts where that happened was there were 2 guys that were wounded in France. They were sent to England to convalesce and be treated. One of them woke up in a German POW lager, and he had to convince the nurses he was an American. And they didn't believe him for a day. And he was like, fuck you. I have dog tags. Like, I'm from Ohio. I'm not a German. And there's another account about that too, where a guy was put in a lager with POWs on the beach. And he was like, no, I'm an American. So those 2 things did happen. And that was from rear line troops mistaking them for maybe Germans because all they associate camouflage with was that. But as far as the actual combat troops shooting combat troops, there's no evidence of that at all. And all the reports of guys that did get into friendly fire incidents were in different areas that the 2nd Armored Division was in. So what it most likely was that the rumor that the new uniform was getting people shot in one sector transferred over to the 2nd Armored sector. These guys were just given camouflage uniforms. They're like, fuck this. They're also only fighting SS for the good first week of the Operation Cobra where they had the camouflage. So they're fighting SS troops with camouflage. They're being told the new uniform is getting people killed. We just got issued camouflage. Fucking ditch it, So it's just interesting. One of the history's riddles.
Right. Well, I mean, I've always said stuff that's, it seems like the more you dig into World War II, the more things you hear about stuff that got U.S. guys killed. We've talked about that. There's so much shit that's and a lot of it seems to be myths and things like that. Some of it not.
The ping from the M1 Garand.
Right. The ping, that gets guys killed, or M1 thumb, which is fucking impossible to do. I've actually tried to do it. And
it's not impossible if you're not.
You can do it.
Yeah, if you're not. Wow, am I lagging that fucking hard? Jesus Christ.
No, it's cool, but
must be recentering satellites.
I've tried to do it while inserting the M block, and I mean you can do it easily if there's nothing inside it. You can just jam your thumb in there and it'll shut.
That's where it comes from, I think, from people playing with the gun and not knowing how to use it.
Yeah, it comes from probably guys cleaning it and shit, not actually loading it and having that happen. I don't see how that could ever. I've tried to do it before. It doesn't.
Remember, we do know some people that can't load M1s.
Well, there are people.
Names.
There are people who are fucking idiots, but oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Clip goes ping, but
Sure.
Great photos. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you'll see them when you actually see them. Yeah.
I legit can't wait. So.
Yeah, I'll get on it.
Love armored stuff. But yeah. 13th Armored, I just looked it up. They saw a lot of late war combat. They entered Europe in January of 45, and they really didn't see anything till April. So it would make sense that the uniform that he has that has some sewing on it was probably the one he wore in combat because they only really saw 4 weeks. And that's not long enough to really destroy a uniform, but it's enough to really wear it down. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah. Thank you, baby. Yeah. I've been talking for a while now.
Yeah, no, we can head off. It's good stream. Good stream.
Yeah.
Got the point across and shooting the shit. So.
Yeah. If you guys want to hear us shoot the shit more in a contextual, nerdgasm way, check out the podcast. So, no pressure, but we think it's cool, and you might think it's cool too, or hate it too. Let us know either way.
It's in the description. And if you're here watching this after the fact that it was live, type armored, since that's the theme. Type armored in the chat, or not the chat, but the comment section. And so all right, cool beans, guys. Check out the fucking podcast. It's really fun. It's a fun time doing it. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun listening to it. And then
we want to grow with people. So if people want us to review something, tell us. And fuck it. There's so many movies that we don't know about out there that we'd love to learn about, and this is how we can all network and find out cool shit together. So cool.
All right. Well, thanks for
on that note.
Listen to
See you
Scuttlebutt.
next time. Listen to Scuttlebutt, you fuckers.
For more bullshitting, please go